why do people powder coat over paint?
Powder coat holds up 10 to 20 to 30 times stronger than paint ever will. I got a new barrel of acid. I opened it up, shot right up in my face. So I went to the hospital and I honestly thought I was gonna lose my vision. And I thought I would have been screwed.
Today we got Little Dan from Gem Custom Power Coating. What's up, Dan?
What's up, man?
On the show.
How's it going?
It's going great. It's going great. Tell us a little bit about powder coating, because we talked a little bit about it before this show, but tell the audience a little bit about the process and what it is for.
Yeah, so not a lot of people know about it. Whenever they ask me what I do, I tell them what I do, and they're like, "What? What's that? Never heard of it." I'm like, "Yeah, not a lot of people have." But powder coating is another form of, I guess, paint in a way, but in a powder substance. So it gets sprayed on with static electricity. It comes out in actual powder form. You spray it on anything you want, a wheel, anything metal. Can't do plastic, can't do anything of that sense. And you spray it on. You roll your cart right into the oven. You let it bake for whatever the certain temp is that it bakes at. And then, it comes out in a solid, wet-looking form. And, you refinish your wheels, you refinish your frame, you refinish anything in that sense.
So why do people powder coat over paint?
Powder coat holds up 10 to 20 to 30 times stronger than paint ever will. It lasts a lot longer, but I mean, obviously a big thing is prep. You got to prep your material, anything you're spraying. That's 90% of your work, but I mean, it holds up 10 times, 20 times stronger than paint ever will. Yeah.
This is such a surreal experience to have my son on the podcast. So what's interesting is that I've always been a business owner, and Daniel grew up, with me watching, me in business and do everything for business and, just always grinding and always hustling. So my question to you is, why did you choose to become a business owner, like straight out of your teen years, right out of high school? Why did you choose to become a business owner instead of doing what all your other friends did, go to college, go, on having your drinking festivities and, have this crazy life? Yeah. Why did you skip that? And why did you want to become a business owner?
I mean, you basically just answered the question for me. I mean, seeing what kids my age are doing, drinking, partying, college parties. I mean, what's the fun in that? I mean, you could sit in your basement and drink. It's just as much fun. I mean, that was never my lifestyle, never what I wanted to do. And I mean, big thing growing up, I never wanted to work for someone. I never wanted to have someone tell me what to do, what time I had to be in at work, where I had to be, when I had to be there, give me an attitude when I'm late. I'm like, I want to just do my own thing. I want to be able to do my own thing. I want to be able to work for myself, and I want to be able to get my own things done.
Super admirable for someone your age.
Yeah.
How old are you?
20.
Little Dan is 20 years old, entrepreneur, started his own business. How long have you been doing this?
So this is February will be year 4. But really 2 years if we're going to, I've been in it for 4 years, but I mean 2 strong years so far.
Okay, so how hard is it? Do you ever have any kind of objections when it comes to your age when you're trying to sell to somebody?
Ooh, yeah, good you brought that one up. Yeah, so in the beginning stage, I guess when I was first getting started and talking on the phone with potential customers, people that are calling the company line, trying to sell them on the job. Once they come in and they see me, they see my appearance, they ask if they were talking to the same person on the phone. And once I tell them yes, they're a little bit surprised, but then I also see that little bit of worry in their face because it's like they see such a young kid doing something and they don't know how much they could trust it. But I mean, once I tell them to give me that shot, give me that opportunity and let me show them what I could actually do, and then once I get their finished product back to them, they're fucking amazed. Right. And it's like, I mean, man, that's what I'm here to do.
So he talked about 2 years solid, but he didn't talk about his first 2 years he was in school. Yeah. And he'd go to work right after school and work until 8, 9 o'clock at night, come home, do his homework. And, literally like it was a company that, I had a part of, and I just, let him work basically for free for his first 2 years and just gave him enough gas money and enough food money to survive, and wanted to see if he was going to fight it through. And then, when he graduated, I said, basically, this is yours. Everything is yours. And I want no part of it and do your own thing. But what's crazy is that if you look at other powder coaters out there and some of the people who talk to him and comment on his post and continue to bring him work, at 4 years, he's doing shit better than people who've been doing it for 14 years, 20 years, 30 years. And he's doing things on levels that other people aren't doing. Maybe not the scalable size of business that he could be doing or he will be doing, but some of the custom work that he does, nobody could even touch it. So, and he's doing it. He's literally watched videos and repeated, and he'll sit there and just perfect everything that he does because he's pushing out and people are like, wow, seeing what he's doing at his age.
Let's jump back real fast to what you were talking about, like high school and leaving high school, go right after. I mean, we could also talk about the times when I would use your email to sign myself out of school to go to work earlier.
Yeah, he had, he'd be like, hey, I used your email and I sent the office a letter that I had to go to a doctor's appointment. The kid had more doctor's appointments his senior year.
What about your slogan? You are amazing. I would use everything.
He literally would copy and paste everything out of my email.
So I guess he forwarded all the report card grades out of your email too.
No, he got good grades. He got good grades.
You graduated somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. Being young and in the entrepreneurial space, being a business owner, trying to make your way. I know firsthand because when I was 26, you were starting way before me, so congrats there. But
Thank you.
When I was starting, I found myself faking it till you make it type deal. But then you find yourself being asked to get in certain rooms with people that you didn't expect to find yourself in. And the turning point for me was speaking with this one company that I was trying to pitch for a long time, finally got them. And then speaking with this one individual, our manager for the company that we worked for. And after speaking with her for a year, we finally got on a video call. And the first thing she said to me was, Aunt, started dying laughing. She said, I thought you were a 60-year-old man. I said, what would make you think that? Oh, well, how you carry yourself, how you speak, your knowledge about the industry. And it was at that moment, made me realize that, when you step into your arena and you wield your weapon like a samurai, they're not going to question you about your swordsmanship.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
So, besides that, kudos to you for putting aside the partying.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Trying to be like everybody else.
Yeah.
It's definitely admirable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a similar story. I came out of high school 17, barely just walked out of high school, and I wanted to be my own boss. And I was in the construction industry, and people used to be like, how long you been in business? I'd be like, oh, this is my dad's company. He works in the office and I'm just out here doing everything. And it was my dad's company forever until I was like 25. Then I was 30. I was really 30, but I was only 25. And I just kept pushing and pushing. And, when you have charisma and when you have the ability to know that you're going to get it no matter what, it's just going to happen. And you do what you got to do. Like you said, fake it till you make it. So I just kind of faked that my dad owned a company. Just once in a while he'd drive a dump truck around, but he didn't own the company. But I had to use that to my advantage because my company was, high ticket items, and it's definitely something you have to use to your advantage. But I think in his industry it's a little bit different now. Like when people see his work, he has repeat customers. He's got people who are promoting him all the time. He'll post something up, whether it's on TikTok or it's on Facebook or whatnot. And he's got tons and tons of people that are attracted to his posts and are engaging in his posts, which, not only means that you're a good person, but also means you do good work and people believe in you. So that's super powerful for yourself. So, maybe you could talk to everyone about, you've been in business for a couple of years now, serious, but you hired a business coach. You spent a ton of money on a business coach, and, you have a plan to execute, and you had a 5-year plan that you're going to try to execute in the next 12 months. So where do you see yourself going in the next 12 months? And where do you want Gem Powder Coating to be as an establishment 12 months from now?
Yeah. So, really it's not where I want it to be, but where it's going to be. So, Gem's going to be in a new building with maybe 3,500, 4,000 square feet doing a shitload of industrial work. Don't get me wrong. Custom work's great. It takes a lot more time. The finished products look a hell of a lot better than a lot of commercial works do, because a lot of commercial works are black, silver, anything of the basics, just because that's just how it is. But obviously there's a lot more money in it. And I've already got 3 clients set up for my new building to do all their work, all month by month, guaranteed work. And I mean, like I said, it's not where Gem's going to be, but I mean, it's going to happen. So,
Hey guys, quick interruption to the show. Please don't forget to follow us and like us.
You can find us on Spotify and YouTube. Hit that like button. We appreciate the algorithm. Thanks, guys.
Love you guys.
So you don't even have the building yet, and you've already set up customers and work orders to say, hey, here's where I'm going. Here's what I'm going to do. I want to earn your business. You already got that.
yeah. Yeah, the biggest thing that they asked me when I first talked to them were my prices. And I was able to kind of look at my cost of what my oven will cost, what my booth will cost, what it'll cost to run the company, plus what it'll cost to, at the moment, outsource my sandblasting. And with that, I also had to see what these other companies were charging to get this work done. So I had to either match it or I had to be a little bit better than it. And I even had one customer or one client, I was $2.50 more than his powder coater now, but he also doesn't have to drive an hour and a half away into Philly to get his work done. That's
beautiful. You're 20 years old. You understand your expenses. You've done your research and development, and you're making big moves. I love that. I really do. So now that we know about the future, what the future holds, tell us a little bit about the very beginning, like the first year. What was the biggest struggle? And maybe you could help some people out there right now. Yeah. How would you help them if you could?
So anyone in my industry, just starting off, or that's been in business for a year now. The biggest thing that had to be done, no matter what, was your prep work had to be 100% before you even got close to spraying that wheel or whatever it was, that frame or that anything. The prep work was 100% key. You mess up on that one little bit, you start completely over. And I noticed that, I'm not going to lie, in the beginning, I definitely half-assed some of my prep work. But I learned from it because I saw how it came out. It came out like shit. I had to toss it back in the stripper, completely do it over. And I realized I lost all my money on that job just because of that little half-ass. So your prep work is 100% before you spray anything on it. And then, another big thing was, getting the clients to come to you. With powder coating, I've learned that 95% of your work that comes to you is all word of mouth. So the rep that you put out to all these other customers, that's what's going to get you your business. And right now, another thing is like my oven size. I've definitely had to turn down a lot of business because of that, just because I wasn't capable of doing it. And in the beginning stage, I wasn't very knowledgeable as where I am now. That's pretty much everyone with the beginning stage of their business. You learn, you keep learning. You're never going to stop learning. And I've learned so much from then. I don't know. My biggest thing was probably just trying to work on the business to get more clients, more customers, than focusing on all the work that needs to be done and just putting my head towards that, but not looking at the future goals.
Was it hard to understand the process or obtain the customer?
More of getting the customer. Getting the customer. Just because, learning the process is obviously a lot easier now than what I've heard back then, because, back then you guys didn't have the internet.
Thank you, YouTube.
You guys weren't able to look up how to do this. Now, you can go on YouTube and you can look up how to two-tone a wheel. You'll find someone that has been doing it forever, and they'll give you the basics, and it's like, wow, that's easy.
For free.
Exactly. And, I'm in touch with 10, 15 other powder coaters around the world. I talked to a bunch of them from Florida, a guy from Ohio, a couple guys from Jersey. I talk to them all the time, and I'm like, yo, should I be doing this or should I be doing that? How do I do this or how do I do that? The amount of help I get from them too is, it's amazing. It helps me out so much.
That's awesome when you can have competition that's not competition and they want to see you succeed.
Jump on that real fast.
You don't see that too much.
Yeah, I don't see. Right now, companies that are 5-10 times bigger than me, I don't see them as competition whatsoever. I mean, those guys running those companies, they're like idols to me. Like, they are where I want to be or where I will be. And, I mean, the best thing to do is learn from them because they've already done it. So, I mean, you're not gonna learn from someone that hasn't done it. You're not gonna take advice from someone that's nowhere close to where you are.
Yeah, dumb can't tell dumb how to be smart.
I mean, that's like talking to a brick wall. I mean, you're not really gonna get anywhere. So
I want you to talk about your experience. Two things I want you to talk about. One, you had a pretty bad experience when you burnt your face. So talk about that. Talk about the setback that you thought that was going to have on you, and the scarcity of that time and what potential damage could have happened. And after you talk about that, talk about fear that you have in this company or in business, and basically what keeps you up at night. There's days that we all can't sleep, and what are those things that keep you up? So first talk about your experience with getting burned, and then talk about that.
yeah, that was a pretty eventful day, I should say. Not really. So I got a new barrel of acid. I use acid to strip off all my wheels or anything that needs to be stripped of old paint or powder. I mean, because trying to blast through old thick powder it's hard. I mean, you'll be sitting there for hours trying to blast that. That's what the stripper's there for. And you strip off all the old paint. I mean, you put your finger in that thing. You leave your finger in that thing for 5 minutes. I mean, you're gonna come out just all no skin, just bone.
No shit.
So yeah, it's very dangerous. And I was pouring new acid into my barrel one day, and I was using a pump and with the air hose and everything. I opened the valve, and there was still air left in it from the last time. I opened it up, shot right up in my face.
Really?
Had nothing on, hit me right in the face, right in my eyes. I was in shock for a minute. There was no pain. It was just like I felt my face just like getting very hot, but there was no pain. Went right over to the sink, splashed water all over my face, tried to get it in my eyes as much as possible. I just felt my face swelling up, and my eyes starting to close. I'm like, oh shit, this is not good. Called an ambulance. They came by. They didn't really help. They didn't tell me where I was. They didn't take me to the hospital or anything. They said they would just take me to an eye place down the street. I'm like, that's not going to work. So I went to the hospital, and still my face is swelling, starting to burn up a little bit. I honestly thought I was going to lose my vision, and I thought I would have been screwed. But got to the hospital, rinsed my eyes out a little bit, and they gave me some eye drops, some other shot that they gave me, and they said my vision was going to be all right. So that definitely helped. And we were sitting there. I get discharged. My face, the swelling goes down, but now I'm starting to scar a little bit. A little black and blue, purple, and all this. And yeah, it definitely didn't seem too good. And I mean, I remember telling you, I'm like, yo, man, the acid's open at the shop. We got to get back there before that shit goes bad. That was a lot of money. So right after we left the hospital, we went right back to the shop, poured that new acid back in the barrel, did a little bit more work before I went home, and yeah, we headed home for the night after that one. But yeah, I mean, those next days, stayed out of work a little bit just because didn't want to risk anything else. Scarring, swelling all went down, but scars were pretty bad. But my eyes were all good, which was very thankful. I went to the doctor. He told me my vision actually got better. I'm like, it's pretty cool, I guess. So yeah.
Let's not do that again.
Chemical X situation.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy. But
Superpowers.
yeah.
So before you talk about that fear, so he's like, that night he had to go back there, pour the acid back in, and do everything he had to do because I don't know how much it was, but it's $1,000-something, whatever, for this barrel. And
First concern.
I'm like, bro, are you out of your mind? And he's like, no, we got to do this. So I went there and I helped him. And, you know, immediately what I thought about, and I was talking to him while we were doing it, I go, you know how many people that had a job, and if they got burnt, they try to milk this for the next 6 months, and you're here literally like 60 minutes later doing your thing? That's entrepreneurship. You know, you do what you got to do. You know, you don't go out there and make complaints. You don't try to milk the system. You know, you go after it. So yeah,
we used the dolly and a ghetto hoist to lift the thing up with a ratchet strap.
Made it happen though.
Well, it didn't take your looks away, so that you got that going for you.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, guys, he's single as a Pringle, and that's his exact words. Ladies, if you're interested. But so tell us about that fear that John Dan
Keeps
was
me up
talking
at
about.
night. Oh, I mean, obviously, I've heard from a lot of people that money shouldn't bother you or money shouldn't be a fear. But I mean, I think it's just because I'm still young, and that's really where my head's at right now, is that money definitely bothers me at night thinking about it. Thinking about, am I going to be able to pay off my bills this month? Am I going to be able to get the money this month from other customers? Anything of that sense. I mean, that's definitely something that keeps me up at night. And another thing that keeps me up at night is right now is stressing over this new building, trying to find a new spot. I mean, man, it's hard. I mean, me and Anthony talked about that before. I mean,
We did. We had
it's
a
hard.
discussion about it.
And,
It's tough right now.
everyone wants so much money, and it's like, and I'm very limited on certain places I can go as well because of what I do. A lot of townships won't allow it, and that's hard because, I mean, those are great areas where the business could be, but they just won't let me go there.
It's tough, but there's no doubt in my mind you'll figure that out.
Yeah, 100%.
Tell me a little bit about your personal and professional development, like what you do on a daily basis. You know, it obviously seems that you're much different than the average 20-year-old who's out probably waiting until they're 21 to go to Bar A, right? So clearly you do things differently, and maybe you could be an inspiration to some people.
Yeah.
So exactly what do you do?
Yeah, so my personal development, I'm in a bunch of these groups online. Like I used to be a part of Arate. I'm a part of a Legacy Tribe now. That's Bedros's, one of his tribes. I do a domination year with Bedros. It's a 1 year of getting my business to scale 10, 20x. And I don't really read a lot. I can't read. It's hard for me to sit there with a book and try to focus. I'll doze off, but I listen to audiobooks.
Just as good.
I've been listening to Rich Dad Poor Dad right now. This is my fourth go around now of the whole thing. Okay. Just listening to it while I work. I mean, really, my personal development comes from all those. I mean, I try to do a lot of things myself, just because, I mean, sometimes in life you won't have someone that you could ask for advice or help. So, I mean, realistically, trying to get these things done on your own is a big thing because it'll help you a lot more in the future. But I mean, also asking for help is also great too. I mean, you can gain a lot of knowledge off of someone else that has been doing it a lot longer than you have. So, yeah, I mean, really, I'm trying to look for the bigger picture. I'm trying to see where I can get my business in the next 20 to 30 years, where I can grow and even maybe turn my business into a franchise. I mean, I've never heard of one powder coating company that has a franchise. I mean, I feel like that'd be great, moving all over the state, all over the country. I mean, why not?
Great idea.
Turning into a one-stop shop for, I mean, all of your needs. So,
yeah. Branding yourself and having other people represent your brand is huge.
Yeah.
So if someone asked you advice, let's say that someone looks up to you. There's so many people that look up to us and we don't even know. And
That's
then
true.
they'll tell us years and months down the road, whatever it is, like, oh my God, I've looked up to you forever. Or,
Inspired me.
I just want to ask you a question. Or they feel weird, like sending you a DM, like, hey, I want to ask you a question. I'm like, what's up? What if someone hits you up, or there's someone out there who you inspire and they inspire to be like you, what kind of advice would you give to that person if they wanted to go into business for themselves?
So a big thing I've noticed from other people, like not even in my industry, but like other business owners, maybe my age, they got to focus on themselves. They got to stop worrying about everyone else, and they got to focus on themselves. They're so worried about what everyone else is doing. You got to just put your head down, focus on your business. You got to push yourself to your limits, and you got to keep going. I mean, honestly, in my industry and someone getting into my sort of business, I mean, like I said in the beginning, I mean, work on your prep work. Your prep work is 100% going to get your job to be flawless. And I mean, you got to look there and you got to put your head down and you got to be able to provide the type of work that your customers want on a completely different level. And, yeah, I mean, like I said in the beginning, focus on yourself.
Forget about them wanting to get in business doing what you're doing. Anyone that you know that out there wants to go in business, but maybe their parents are saying, no, you know what, get a job, or you need job security or whatnot. Like, what if you had a job?
Yeah.
Which I don't think you ever did.
No.
But if you had a job, versus your business, why would you want somebody to go out on their own and at least do their best to say, hey, I tried this, I did this, and I accomplished this, but maybe they don't have belief in themselves. So what can you tell them?
I mean, realistically, if you want to go in business for yourself and you want to do these whole things where like what I said, like you don't want to work for anyone else. You don't want to have a 9 to 5. You don't want to have anyone else be your boss. Just go after it and do it. Your parents are telling you not to do it. What are they doing? Is your mom or dad working a 9 to 5? And they come home every day and complain about their job.
How happy are they?
Is that really what you want to be doing?
Right.
If you want to go out there and crush it and do your own thing, just go fucking do it.
I think another thing that you said without saying, and Dan alluded to it before, people are afraid to reach out, right? Yeah. Reach out to those people.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. Believe it or not, people are willing to help. I know I love getting asked questions.
Yeah.
I'll stay up to crack of dawn if that means I could help somebody, right?
Yeah. I do that all the time.
People are afraid to ask for whatever reason. Yeah. So ask the right questions.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to.
I call all these other powder coaters all the time. I give them a phone call all the time. They don't answer me. They give me a ring right back. I ask them all these questions. I'm like, man, I'm struggling here. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think. I don't know how to price this job out. Like, what are you thinking? Like, what would you do? And it's like, the feedback that they give me is like, I'm not cutting myself short.
Right.
Like I might be thinking like, oh, let me price this job out at $800. And they're like, oh, I would charge $1,200 for that. And then I go back and look at it and I'm like, man, I would have lost so much money off of that.
Yeah, and those are good people to have in your corner too.
Exactly.
Because the people that don't want to help you, they're not going to be around very long. I've seen tons of people in my specific industry come and go, and they don't want to share information. They think they're doing themselves a disservice when it's rather the opposite.
Yeah, I agree.
So that should be your jive. I don't want a 9 to 5. A 9 to 5 is a way to survive. I'm not trying to survive. I'm trying to live, right? So where can people find you if people wanted to find out how to connect with you?
Yeah, so you can check me out at gemcustomcoating.com on Google. You can check me out on Instagram at Gem Custom Powder Coating. I'm on Facebook as well, TikTok. And I get a lot of my work from my Instagram, so that's definitely a great place to reach me. But yeah, my website as well. You can reach me anywhere via email and everything else.
Awesome. So this was a super cool episode.
This is heartfelt for you, for sure.
With my son. So guys, make sure you're following us on Spotify and on YouTube. We appreciate the algorithm. We appreciate all of you guys. And huge thank you to my son for being on the show today.
No, thank you guys.
Thanks for coming out today, Dan.
Thank you guys. Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Love you guys.